What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Portsmouth, our Let's Play Season 7, Episode number 4. I totally almost got the season wrong there. But, so yeah, let me tell you what I did. I did a little something offline because there was zero growth happening. I turned off the Demand Master mod, and then my residential growth absolutely skyrocketed. So something's going on with that. It is one of the mods that I have included in the collection, so I wanted to warn people about that. That's the one that you can click on the demand meters and actually adjust them to force people to want to move in. You also have the ability to set it at certain levels, to block it at certain levels, and then just to see the number, which is a nice concept, but when it completely breaks people's need or want to move into your town, it's not necessarily the best thing. So I wanted to do another little residential neighborhood in here because obviously we've got a ton of demand. I wanted to show you this too. So this is another mod that's available this season, American traffic lights. So these look very different from the ones that are built into the game. If you're from North America and specifically the United States, these will look much more familiar. But in this case, I don't want those there. We'll just do a stop sign. And actually, just to be safe, let's actually turn it on with the in-game mechanics, so junctions and stop, and then we're good to go. So yeah, so I basically loaded up the game, let it run for a while, and nothing was happening demand-wise. That's why I have so much money in the bank, because I was letting it sit for so long to see if it would actually settle out, and it didn't. Closed the game down, took that mod off, and then all of a sudden demand started skyrocketing. And then all of a sudden demand went up. I did add in this little diamond interchange here, and I made this a 4-lane road. Again, you can kind of see what's happening here with the traffic lights. I added in this as well. I started changing up things a little bit around the strip mall, little Red Rocket gas station, and then I backed these parking lots down. So I still don't know what ultimately is going to be the case here, but it's going to be something like this. It's going to be a little bit more stripped back, and not just kind of a concrete jungle there. Applebee's still doing well. Or I should say, doing better, because it was having an educated workers problem, but that seems to be going well. And then one other touch that I added in was to add in some oak trees and alders in the middle of the where all the conifers were, just to kind of break it up a little bit. So when you're a little bit further back, it kind of looks like it makes sense. Day mode, okay. We're good, we're good. So let's come in here and meet some of that ridiculous residential demand that we have now that things are actually working. So, small brush, can we just get rid of that? Thank you. And then let's freeform some roads through here. So, just so that we end up with plenty of room. Maybe what we could do is this. So I'll bring this out almost as far, and then maybe we can, nope. I was gonna say maybe we can hook that in just right, but this may require a curved road to do this. So let's do that. Get a couple of little streets there. Get a couple little houses in over here, and then we'll go back to our freeform just in case we want to hook it around a little bit. But that way we can use up some of this space for some additional zoning. Maybe we could even bring this one back through here. Like that. And that. Something like that. I like it. So let's switch over to our big brush. Paint all that in, and then we will water it. This would be faster with the marquee tool, but it is, as I mentioned in previous episodes, much more enjoyable to paint zoning and districts when you have a mouse specifically. Let's fix that, because we don't need people moving in right on top of the stores. And then we'll water it and see what else we can work on this episode. Can we get? I don't think we can get one in there. Can we? Almost. That tiny little Tiny little pocket up here. It's not watered. I did drop in one more custom asset just to see what it looked like in game, and that is an IKEA. That's a pretty good model there. I want to say it's a King Leno. Let me see. I don't think that it is, because he puts that little crown icon on all his assets, as far as I know. So the other thing I did for fans of the Portsmouth area, we've got Market Street, which becomes Woodbury Ave. So we're slowly but surely going to introduce some real business names, street names, things like that. We did... Where are my districts? Did I define the districts before that crash? Because this should be technically Atlantic Heights. And that was the whole point of episode number 2, is spinning up these residential, or this residential area, and then we filled in this one in the second episode. So looks like I'm going to have to come in there and repaint some districts. But now we've actually got growth happening, and that is a good thing, because I do want to get over here and start doing the downtown area. I did also, before I forget, switch over these to at least the eco water outlet. Is that what it's called? So the standard just dumps out raw sewage. This filters it a little bit. It handles a lot less, and it's more expensive, but it reduces the water pollution a little bit, not a lot. So, but now that we're actually growing again, and this area is filling in, we could probably get away with another residential pocket up here. I think that would be okay. It's not, it doesn't technically go that far in a real Portsmouth, but for what we're trying to do, I think that's okay. We're going to see, where are we at milestone wise? We're pretty close. 5,500. The next unlock is at 8,500. That'll buy us a new tile. And then maybe we can come over here and start working on our downtown once we have that, and start moving in some people over here on this side. There's definitely some residential pockets in here next to the highway. So we'll want to get going on that. And then at some point, I also want to raise this highway up, because this is elevated in real life, and there's some roads that come underneath it. So maybe we can just carve some little valleys, kind of achieve the same principle, but not necessarily need to rework the entire map. I wasn't as detail oriented as I thought I was with some of the highway pieces. So when I actually built the map, I probably could have done that, a little bit more research, a little bit more digging around on Google Maps, but that is okay. We've pretty much flattened out now residential wise, so this will continue to fill in. And then commercial wise, could probably get a couple streets in here. Whoa, lag. Probably get a couple streets to fill this in, because that's a big gap. But we did, there we go, busy town, excellent. So we can now specialize in oil, tourism. What else do we have? New policies. We've unlocked a bunch of different roads, and you'll see some different weird pre-built neighborhoods and things that we won't be using, but I do have as available as assets. And the reason that those are now unlocked is because they use decorative roads. And we've unlocked roads with trees, roads with grass, some of the bus lanes, the Mr. Mason roads that have the fluffy grass on the sides. Most importantly, though, we've unlocked the larger versions of police, fire, and hospital. And I wouldn't mind maybe moving some of those businesses out. Fire helicopter depot. I feel like I said helicopter weird. Fire helicopter depot. We definitely want to drop one of those in, because we have so many trees in the map, but we don't yet have fire watch towers. So let's just dump it over here for now. We've got the money. So let's do a depot. And then when we get to the next milestone, we should unlock at 8,500 the fire watch tower. So we could upgrade some of our streets. Tree lined might be kind of nice for some of the 4-lane avenues that we cut through here. I want to upgrade this, and I wonder if I should just move everybody out now while we have a little bit of commercial demand. I'm going to leave this circle in here for now, but I think I'm not going to be able to upgrade all this, right? Because I have to do Police and fire, let's get rid of them. Let's upgrade this road. Let's do tree line streets, because I think that would be fun. And then we'll rezone all this off just to make sure it's all filled in. Okay, and where is... Okay, we're coming up to our Applebee's, so we gotta move that. Is it gonna let me overwrite it? Space already occupied, okay. So let's move the plaza and the Applebee's out for a minute. And then we'll move those back in after we finish upgrading the roads. Come on. And I guess we'll move IKEA too. And we might switch that up. Maybe we'll cut over to like tree line streets on one side, grass line streets on the other, where Market becomes Woodbury. But let's move these back in now. So let's do that. We'll delete this one. That overlaps a little bit too much. And then we may as well go into our zoning and dezone this corner. I think that's okay because the sign is a separate asset. So let's do that. It's odd to me that there's no parking on this building. It's just sitting on a grass lot. That doesn't look right. That's something that we're going to have to fix in the future. But we won't worry about that right now. We're going to get a little bit more detail-oriented over here at some point. We did have kind of the massive parking lot right across the way here before. But now that I've trimmed that back, it doesn't look like there's easy parking for Applebee's. So we'll address that. I think it would be nice to take this one and make that, is this grass lined? Just for a little bit of a different feel here. Now we've got traffic lights at this intersection, but now we've created all kinds of problems because anywhere a 4-lane meets any other road, 4 or 6 I should say, it's going to create traffic lights. So let's do a little bit of maintenance here, junctions tab, and we'll just return to what we had before, which is stop signs. That one can be a stoplight. And then these should all already be on stop signs. And then we'll leave the traffic light here. This is not connected? That's interesting. Is it going to let me build a road that small? It will, okay. And then back into roads. And we'll do that. May as well do this too. The little access road in the back. We'll have them stop traffic there. So that should work. We're minimizing the traffic lights, but we're giving our town a little bit, I think, a little bit better of a look. With that slightly larger road that's going to support the commercial infrastructure over here. But now let's go in and fix anything that was dezoned as a result. Probably don't need that zoned right there. Come to think of it, it's a little close to those. A little close to those houses. So let's sort all that out. But that's a start. Eventually we will move the traffic circle out of there. Because that's not where that traffic circle belongs. Where that traffic circle belongs is technically right around here. Before this interchange. It actually becomes the interchange. So where this is 95 north and 95 south coming from the top of the screen, you would exit to a traffic circle to then get on this road that runs perpendicular to it. But this being built into the map supports a lot more traffic. It makes it a lot easier. But we'll downgrade that and simplify this a little bit. We'll still have a highway interchange here, but I want to kind of downgrade this cross highway. We'll do some different stuff to make it feel a little bit more Portsmouth. But if you don't know the area, then it may not matter, and this may be totally fine. But for a small town, this is generally overkill. So let's go ahead and throw it on 3 times speed for a minute, see what our demand does. And again, I'm sorry for throwing Demand Master in there in the collection, but I've had issues in the past with Super Demand. I want to say Clyte did that one, and this one, Demand Master, both at some point kind of break the will for people to move in. So I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what does it, but I've like I said, I've gone ahead and taken it off here, and I will probably remove it from the actual mod collection since it's something that is not working too well for me. But it is, when you manually set those levels and combine that with a mod like No Abandonment, you can get people kind of moving in on demand, if you will. You can really create that demand, and if you want zoning to handle a lot of your build for you without having to plop down a bunch of individual buildings, it's a really powerful mod. But it breaks the organic ability for the town to grow, and I was hoping the Demand Master would solve that problem, but unfortunately did not. So let me show you what I did with the tree brush before to kind of get this mixed feel. So if we go into, and apologies for the frame rate, but this is what happens when you're on 3 times speed and running a ton of different mods. Oh wow, I was actually at 5. Now I just dipped down to 4 frames per second. That's crazy. That's just so crazy. So we've got the conifers. So we'll put the brush strength on, like, I don't know, 30. So that's not too strong. And we'll just paint right over this residential area. As people move in, they'll knock those trees down as they need to. Now if we come over here to the oak and do the same thing, we can kind of mix and match those in there. And there is a mod called Forest Brush, which you can kind of build multiple trees into a brush and paint them all at the same time. It's right over here at the bottom of the tray. And at some point, what I do want to do is I've downloaded some trees. I got to double check if they're still in here. But I've got a bunch of fall trees. And if there's one thing that people come to New England for, I'll dig those out and show those in another episode. If there's one thing people come to New England for in droves, it's around October. They come up to see all the trees, beautiful colors. Oh, remember when I had a fire and police station over here and then I got rid of it? Oh, man, what the heck? So we'll go ahead and throw this. I don't know. Let's go here for now, because it's relatively central. And hopefully they respond fast enough, because we've got crime problems happening, we've got fires happening, and we've got lag happening big time. I should save it soon before something terrible happens. So that one got put out. They're on the way to that one. Excellent. That was a little sloppy of me. Okay, police have solved most of the crime issues. Where are they committing crimes? The Hallmark store and the Dollar Tree. The Hallmark store, really? That's, I don't know. Out of all those stores. Ooh, Blockbuster too. Stealing VHS tapes. So our demand's pretty flat now, but you can see as people move in, they'll carve out little spaces in the trees. Really love these houses. We've got some New England houses that are kind of mixed in with the default assets. I do need to go through one more time before we work in the downtown area, and I'm really going to drill through the theme manager so that hopefully we can zone the downtown off and just zone it and not worry about actually dropping in individual buildings. But we will see. We'll see when we get there. This was a DQ. What does it upgrade to? To a bowling alley. That's quite the upgrade. Okay. So if you want to prevent things like that from happening as buildings level up, there's a historical mod. I should check the name of it. There's a historical mod in my collections, and you can mark that so that even though the building levels up, it will maintain appearance. And you can see that commercial buildings will completely change what they are. We've got an Andy's bowling alley over here and over here. That's unfortunate. So if we see repeated buildings like that, like red rockets spawning everywhere, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Like this, back-to-back red rockets, and I plopped a red rocket over across. Did I not plop one over here? Maybe that is a zonable building? There's another one over here, so we've got way too many repeats, so at some point we'll come through here and clean some of those up, but we've got a lot of stuff happening. Frame rate's just chugging along. Let's look at it at 1x speed for a minute, just to show you a little bit more natural. But this is unfortunate. Like, I don't have a bad PC, right? But it's not capable of running this game at a reasonable frame rate. It's not a shooter, so you know, you don't need to worry about that silky smooth frame rate to you know, play well. But it is fun to see the game, you know, running a little smoother than this. Mods impact performance, the assets impact performance, and the game in general. As your city grows, performance starts to drop really fast. I'm in the 30s on this map when I first load up. As soon as people start moving in, it drops into the teens. So it's all this. It's everything you see on screen. It's moving all these people around, all these cars, the traffic lights, the sun, the shadows. The buildings are being rebuilt and leveling up. And then you've even got stuff like this, the noodles that are, you know, animated on the front of the building. It all comes into play. Now, one thing I'm not doing, or I should say one way I'm not helping myself, is if we look at, where is it? I think it's in the actual options panel. So ultimate level of detail. I had this set for recording cinematics, but it is the good luck setting, and then there's the goodbye setting. So this is how far off buildings will actually animate. So that when I'm doing a slow panning cinematic from way over here, you know, you're not getting textures that pop in on the buildings way back there. And the same thing with the trees. Let's see though. Let's see if we turn that down. What is the game default? 1,000 meters. I've got it at 10 times the animation distance. And literally the setting says good luck. So maybe I'm trying to push a little bit too much. Let's see what that does to our frame rate, if anything. So we'll do the decal rate at 1,000, the prop at 1,000. I think all these are at 1,000 by default, right? Ooh, wow, 425 on trees. So let's set them to 1,000 also, even though we've got a lot of trees. We went from 9 to 11 frames per second. But now, if you watch as I kind of zoom around the town, or not zoom around, but you'll notice some stuff kind of popping in a little bit more than you would have before. But maybe it's not that bad for normal play, but honestly, what is it getting us? It's getting us another 5 frames per second there for a minute. It's not a lot though. So yeah, if you don't have a really powerful PC, you can still enjoy this game. But you won't be enjoying, you know, kind of watching your city unless you're doing things like the cinematic camera mod to take really slow shots, then watching them back at 600% speed. That's really the only way you're going to see it running at a silky smooth 60 frames per second. Either that or you've got an absolute beast of a machine. Because again, mine's not bad. 7th gen i7, 7700K, 32 gig of RAM, 3 solid state drives in the machine, and 1660 Ti. So GTX 1660 Ti. So it's not a bad machine by any means. And it's certainly capable of very high resolution. And when we pause it, right, I think things look pretty good. But when you start playing it, don't expect a lot of frames per second. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty good place to end for today's episode, though. We've met some of our residential demand, but as you can see, it climbed all the way back up. So more and more people want to move in. We'll do at least, let's see, maybe we can just frame off one more neighborhood. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad use of the rest of today's time. So because we've got a lot to do. So let's bring this like right to the edge of the tree line over there. We could maybe connect this in like that. And then have a street that kind of runs parallel to this one out back. Maybe at some point we'll move this cemetery, or right now. Which one's the actual disasters tab? Yeah, so for whatever reason that gets all messed up. Let's where's the slider for the disaster strength? Did I do a mod that broke that? I might have. Let's try and collapse this structure. There we go. That was quick. And then let's bring a road in through here. Like that, maybe? And we could fill in a little bit of trees back here. But we need more and more residential zoning. So we'll bring this all the way up to the water. And we'll tuck kind of one more neighborhood in through here. Now, I don't want them all coming out to the main avenue. I want to minimize our intersections on what is Market Street and Woodbury Ave here in our town of Portsmouth. So maybe we'll have a neighborhood that comes in back behind there. I want to have little overlap, but not too little. So let's move this a little bit. So that is move it. Move it is super handy. We just want to do a little bit of an adjustment like that. And then maybe we can come back over here. Freeform tool. Just like that. Couple little neighborhoods here. We don't need this little piece of street. So let's do that. We'll paint all that in, or most of that in. Maybe we could even not paint this side and have this all filled in with trees. So let's try that. So this can be all residential through here. And then we'll do this side of this street back here. Outer piece here. But we won't actually zone kind of on the back side of the stadium there. We can make that some... let's fill that in right now. Before I forget, we'll break out our tree brush one more time. And let's do some conifers in through there. And then we'll add some oaks in through there for a little bit of a buffer. And we'll see kind of where these already lined up. A little bit of overlap's fine. We're doing pretty good for money. A little over $500,000. Not bad for a small town. So let's just make sure all that's covered. We'll finish zoning that off and we'll call it a day. But that's all filling in pretty fast. So in the next episode, maybe we'll do a little bit of an assessment. Because Watch It is not the most accurate anymore now that I'm using that auto budget. It's constantly kind of keeping things in the yellow. So we may want to look at kind of where schools are and where healthcare is at. So actually, speaking of healthcare, we dropped in a big fire station and police station, but we didn't drop in a big hospital. So let's do that. Can we fit it in right there? That would be awesome. Of course not. Maybe we could do that to fill in this space over here next to the Applebee's. Let's do that for now. Just as kind of a temporary placeholder. There we go. So until we really get the town fully set up, we'll use some kind of placeholder setups, and that one works pretty good, I think. So I'll give you another little cinematic on the way out today. Let me see where we want to shoot it from. Where is our sunset? Perfect. I didn't mean to go into water. I don't know how I went to the water overview. Can we move that a little bit? Let's move it over here. I love this mod. But there we go. That's a pretty good spot to end. I'll cut to the cinematic here in a moment. But hopefully everyone is enjoying the series. I'm having a ton of fun with this one, and we're really only just getting started. So there's going to be a lot of cool little fun builds. The downtown's going to be really complex and very different because we're going to get the townhouses and row houses in there. So stay tuned. New episodes of this series every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If console's more your thing, check out the Thursday and Sunday live streams. We're building a new town from the ground up. And come on by and check out the build and ask questions and make suggestions. Love to have you join. So if you did enjoy this video, likes, comments, and shares all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe and consider hitting the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. Thanks to all the patrons and channel members. Really, really appreciate the support. But again, every like, comment, and share helps out a lot too. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you want to get involved in the discussion with other like-minded fans of cities and of the channel. Lots of great tips and tricks, and you can get advice and suggestions over there. So stop by and say hi. But until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.